Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. We are going to be talking about John Carpenter's The Ward. Now this one it wasn't written by John Carpenter, it was written by Michael Rasmussen and stars Amber Heard, Danielle Panabaker, who you may know from the TV show The Flash. And the story here basically focuses on a young woman who has seemingly kind of lost her marble, and she's basically committed to a psychiatric ward where there is a variety of other kind of like women who are staying there, being treated for various things. However, this ward appears to be haunted by some kind of vengeful spirit, and it's basically a question of unravelling the mystery and kind of finding out what's going on. And obviously there's a kind of it may not all be as it appears, and there may be deeper things kind of going on here. And that's all I'll kind of say about the plot. Alex here, tell us a little bit about what you liked about this movie.
I liked the fact it was quite psychological and jumpy in places. But yeah, I like the fact you can have to think what's going on, which is always a good thing in my books. Cool.
I actually, it's got quite a good cast actually. I've mentioned obviously you've got Amber Heard here, Danielle Panabaker, a couple of other faces that you'll recognise as well. So all in all, quite a good cast. I thought the kind of the ghostly effects here were quite well done in the actual, when we kind of see the kind of the ghost kind of character. Looks pretty freaky, kind of like almost kind of a zombie witch kind of like, and I think it is actually a little bit more cerebral than it first appears, I would say. It kind of starts off more or less like a kind of straight sort of haunted house story, really a haunted hospital story, but it ultimately actually what's the whole thing obviously unravels, and you kind of peel back the layers, and it's a little bit kind of more, a little bit deeper than you kind of first thought. Anything you didn't like about it?
Can't think of anything at the moment.
No. For me personally, I didn't necessarily like the story structure. I thought it kind of stuttered a little bit. I didn't think initially, I mean there is a reason for it ultimately, but it kind of drops you in without really knowing what's going on, which is kind of a little bit frustrating. And it seems to happen very quick. Things start to happen very, very quickly. And when you're watching this film, a lot of things didn't make sense to me, to be honest with you, as it kind of went through. Just things seemed to happen too soon. There never seemed to be any kind of like people walking the halls. There was all these kind of disturbances going on and people escaping and all sorts of things, and there never seemed to be anyone around to kind of like to notice these things. The twist ending, it does kind of wrap a bit more up, I would say, but it's still, these things still kind of bothered me throughout the movie. But overall, I think for me personally, once I saw this movie as a whole, I kind of preferred it. But whilst I was kind of watching it, I didn't like it as much until I kind of had watched it as a whole piece, if you know what I mean. Because as I was watching it, I was thinking, do you know what, I don't think this story structure is very good. But then you finish watching that and you kind of think back and think, actually, kind of maybe I understand a little bit why they've chosen to do certain things. The only other criticisms, obviously, this being a John Carpenter film, he has quite a distinct kind of style, whilst I felt this one you don't quite feel his touch in it. I didn't think it felt somewhat kind of like a generic TV horror movie to a certain degree. I mean, you've got to think, obviously, John Carpenter's obviously done some kind of classic horror stories within his time. I know he's had a few misses as well, but I always felt he has a certain kind of thing which I felt was kind of missing on this one. But overall, once you watch this as a whole, I think it's probably I liked it a little bit better than I was watching it as it was kind of happening, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, anything else you want to add to it?
Going back to John Carpenter, it sort of lacks his originality.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you give it out of 10?
4.5.
4.5. Oh, fair enough. I thought you were going to get a bit higher than that. I'm actually going to go 6.5 for me. When I was watching it, I was thinking, it's going to be about a 5. And then when I was kind of finished it, I thought, actually, no, I kind of like it a little bit more. So 6.5 for me. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.